I think the coolest thing for me and what I love is just being at the games themselves. I've gotten to go to a lot of really cool things that I wouldn't have without photography. So to be in that like college football atmosphere and being right in the middle of it and like the bands are right there. It was so loud. It was so cool just to see that energy and like how into it the fans got and just being like a part of all that was really awesome.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is John L., and this is Designated Report Behind the Lens. And this is episode one, season five. It's kind of crazy that we're on 5 years already of doing these conversations with photographers, videographers in the sports realm. Um, I'm excited for my first guest of 2025, Miss Ansley White. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Trying to stay warm. Trying to stay warm. I'm up here
Yeah.
in Connecticut. Um, a crazy weekend of weather that we had. It kind of threw off all my plans, but other than that, everything's good.
Yeah, I feel you with that. I'm in Maine right now, so
I can only imagine it being equally as bad, if not worse, up
oh
there.
yes. Yeah, yeah. Little bit of adjustment coming from Florida, but it's been good. Very snowy this weekend, but it's been fun.
Yes. So I mean, let's jump right into that. You're
Mhm.
from Florida, made your way up to Maine.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Yeah, so I'm in my junior year at Colby College right now. So,
Okay.
um, born and raised in Florida, I started playing volleyball in middle school and ended up getting recruited to play here at Colby. So, I've been on this is my third year on the volleyball team, and I remember first visiting Colby and I was like, it's a great school, but there's no way I'd ever move to Maine. Are you kidding me? Like you'd have to be
Yeah.
crazy. And then I ended up loving it and I've been toughing out the winters, but it's been fun.
Is Was that the only place you got an offer from, or is that the place that you ended up falling in love with?
It was the place I ended up falling up in love with. So my first offer and I pretty much immediately accepted it.
That's awesome. Are you regretting it now? Because it's probably 70 degrees and sunny in Florida right now.
Yeah, surprisingly, I'm not. All my friends think I'm crazy, but I've really enjoyed it. The community's great. Met a lot of great people, had a lot of really cool opportunities here, and I've just really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Um, so I did a little research, and I knew you were a student athlete. I know you play volleyball.
Yeah.
Um, Majoring in psychology, if I remember correctly. Um,
Yes.
how are you juggling everything? Being a photographer, student athlete, psychology, the whole nine.
Yeah, so I picked up an English minor recently too. But honestly, especially in season, you don't really have a choice. Colby's very high academic and classes are tough, but it's definitely manageable. I definitely think that having time management skills is extremely important. That's what I always tell everyone.
Absolutely.
And playing sports growing up, yeah. Playing sports growing up, I kind of already had an idea of like when I needed to do things and making sure I'm ahead of everything. And I'm also just a very organized person. If you look at my notes app, I have a million to-do lists. Um, but I keep my schedule tight and just kind of jump from one thing to another. And everyone's super supportive around me too. I'm so lucky to have such great friends and teammates and professors and coaches, everything. Like it's been really great. So that has certainly helped as well.
That's awesome. Um, so what I will say, again, just looking into volleyball a little bit, your team is very good. And
Yes.
particularly since you got there, is any coincidence about that?
Yeah, well, I can't take the credit for that. I'm definitely more of a like to say that I'm the personality hire of the team. I
Oh,
am
please.
definitely, yeah, I am all about positive energy and just keeping the vibes up with the team. And we definitely hold each other accountable, but I love getting there and just supporting my teammates. It's been super fun watching everyone do their thing. We made a quick run in the NCAA's this year for the first time since
Oh,
2015,
nice.
which is really excited for the program. Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, but I'm definitely more known for my shenanigans on the bench than any playing.
What type of shenanigans are we talking?
I've been known to do the worm a couple times. It's funny, the school's pretty small and I didn't realize how many people knew who I was. And I was walking in class one day and someone came up to me and they're like, You're on the volleyball team, right? I was like, Yeah. And they're like, I saw you doing the worm at your game the other day. That was awesome. It's like, what?
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, the actually we had a dinner with the president of the school and he made a comment about it, which really caught me off guard that that was recognized by the president of the college. So, if that
Yeah.
tells you anything about that, but
I mean, for what it's worth, that people like you, players like you need them on the team.
yeah, and I have fun with it. I love the team. I love my girls, so it's been great.
That's awesome. Um, so photography wise, I feel like
Mhm.
everybody's got their own like photography origin story.
Yeah.
How did you get into photography? How did you get into sports photography if they are
Mhm.
indeed two different things?
Yeah, so I guess I first started playing around with photography when I was in middle school. My mom's a photographer, so she
Okay.
does landscapes, realty, and then she started doing photography, like sports photography, when I started playing sports. And she's incredible. I've learned everything from her, and so she taught me how to shoot when I was little, and then one day my freshman year, she was like, "Hey, I'm going out to the baseball game if you want to come with me and learn how to shoot sports." And I agreed, and I ended up just falling in love with it. And all throughout high school, we would go to all the games together and shoot, and it was a great time for us to spend time together and both enjoy this and also just learn so much from her, which I'm so grateful for. Um, but yeah, so I started off with just learning from my mom.
Nice. And was there ever a moment in which, whether it was with your mom or on your own, was there like the aha moment where it's like, you know what, I really like this and this is something that I want to do?
Yeah, I mean, probably I always really loved it throughout high school. I would go to all the games I could. And then I think I got to college and I came in the fall, didn't bring any gear with me, and we got out of season and I was like, wow, I really miss photography. Like I'd love to be able to do it again. And so I emailed the head of athletics communications and sent him my portfolio and was like, hey, I'd love to photograph games if you'll have me. And he took me on, and I immediately started the next week with squash, which I'd never even watched before.
Yeah.
But so that was an interesting start. But I've been working for the athletics communications department now. This is my third year at school, and they've sent me to all the athletic events, and it's been
Yeah.
so fun. And I think I realized then that like this is definitely something that I'd love to pursue, and just the connections that you make in it, and being able to provide people with those like moments that sports bring. And I think that that's such a cool thing and something that I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that goes back to what you were saying earlier, just about the the support. You know, you have all these people, these connections that you've made, and
Mhm.
it seems like everybody has your best interest at hand. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really awesome.
Yeah.
Um, in terms of a camera, you said that you didn't bring your gear up there with you. What are you shooting with?
Yeah, so right now I'm shooting with a D5 and a Z6. And then I have my 7200, which I just had to get a new one this week actually, because my one that I've had for the past 7 years broke during a game last week. So that was a little
During a
sad, but
game. Yeah.
oh yeah, I was sitting there and I turned to the person next to me. I go, I think it just broke. And they were like, oh no. Everyone just
Yeah.
looked at me
Oh
and
man.
yeah, but that was not on my bingo card for this month, but it happens, I guess. But so I've got the 70 to 200, 24 to 70, a 300 fixed, and my Christmas present was a 200 to 400, which I'm very excited to get outside and use more in the spring.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm also a Nikon shooter, so that makes me happy
Yeah.
because I feel like not a lot of people shoot Nikon.
Right?
Um, it's, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I get it, but you know,
Yeah.
was that your first like camera brand? Did you start shooting with Nikon and you just kind of stuck with
Yes.
it?
Yeah, no, I've always shot with Nikon. It's what my mom uses, so I just kind of started playing around with her stuff, and then one of my Christmases, my mom and dad got me my first actual body of my own, so that was super exciting. But yeah, I love Nikon, so I'll probably always stick with it unless I'm persuaded to switch to the other side, but don't really see
I'm
that in my
right there with you.
future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, Typical game day. I know you shoot a lot for Kobe College. I also saw that you shoot for MaxPreps. Um,
hmm
Give me a glimpse into just like your typical game day from the time you get there to the time you get out.
Yeah, so Max Preps is something new. So typically it's usually just Colby. I'll wake up in the morning. It depends. On Friday the games start at 7. On Saturday the games start at 3. This is for winter sports right now. But
Yeah.
I'll typically, if I'm doing hockey, I'll get to the rink, let's say on Saturday, I'll get there at 12. And the guys will be walking in, they have their suits and everything. I'll get them walking into the building with their outfits, and I'll go edit and upload those and post it to their Instagram. I run the hockey team's Instagram as well.
That was going to be my next
So,
question. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll do that. Usually I'll have another 30 minutes to an hour after that before warm-ups start. So I'll usually get some other homework done and then I'll head into the rink and shoot some warm-ups. I like to upload those to the Instagram story. And then after that, I'll be at the game. It starts at 3. I'll probably be there until about 5:30. I always get all aspects of the game, and then in between periods, I'll upload score updates. So, and then also, since I'm working for athletics as well, I have to upload a certain amount of images. So I usually try to get 5 to 8 for each period, and I'll upload those, edit them really quick, and get them into our Google Drive. And then afterwards, I will head back to my dorm and edit the entire gallery of images, and I send that directly
Yeah.
to the team. And then I will upload all of the raw, unedited images to the Google Drive.
That's a day to do
Yeah. And
everything. You're
then,
editing, you're posting everything. That's a lot.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot, but I really don't mind it. I love what I do. And then this coming weekend, there is a Max Preps game that's at Colby as well. So I will do my normal hockey thing. And then, well, this weekend I'm photographing basketball, but I'll go to the game, get those pictures edited real quick, and then go grab dinner and come back to the AC, the athletic center, and do that high school game. And by that point, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock when I get back, and I want to enjoy my
Yeah.
Saturday, so I'll edit those on Sunday. But
Jeez. I mean, when you love what you do, I guess it doesn't feel as much as work, but
yeah,
that's a lot. It's a long day.
yeah. But these games for college, like I've made so many friends on the team. A lot of them through photography. So I'd be at these games anyways, and I just love to be able to shoot. It definitely calms me down. I get pretty amped up at the games. I'm a very competitive person, and I want to see
Yes.
everyone that I love and like know win. So this kind of helps me calm down a bit, especially when the game's intense.
um, so you mentioned you're shooting basketball this weekend. You shoot hockey. I actually
Mhm.
saw earlier today you had posted I don't, today or yesterday
Yeah.
photos of the hockey players coming in.
Mhm.
You shot squash. It seems like you can do and will shoot any game that
Yeah.
you need to. Is Do you have a favorite? Do you have a least favorite?
Yeah, I think that I gotta say my favorite is baseball. I also run their social media account, so I definitely spend a lot of time with those guys, and they're just great people. And I also just love the sport as well. I think it's really, um, a lot of people think it's very slow and very boring, but I think that there's a lot to actually see, and it gives me a lot of space to be creative with my pictures, which is something that I'm trying to do a little bit more of now that I feel like I've got the fundamentals down. So I think that's really fun. And also just being able to be outside in the spring here is so nice. So that's always great. But yeah, probably baseball. Absolutely love hockey as well. I didn't I didn't watch a single hockey game until I got to college. So that's more of a recently discovered love for
Yes.
the sport. And then football as well, but unfortunately, I don't really get out to any football games while I'm up here because our games are at the same time.
You're in season.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's unfortunate, but I do really love football as well.
Okay. Okay. Um, it just I thought about it. You were talking about spring up there.
Mhm.
Where is Kobe College?
It's in Waterville, Maine. It's about an hour north of Portland.
Okay, that's not
Yeah.
too bad.
Yeah.
I have a friend that I went to high school with. He lives just outside of Portland now, but he went to
Mhm.
school in uh, he went to Husson up in Bangor,
Okay.
and I
Yeah.
think that's much farther north, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like an hour north of us. Yeah. We play them for our out of conference games. So,
Gotcha. Yeah,
yeah.
I love Maine. I don't know if I'd be able to. I mean, it's bad enough here in terms of the cold in Connecticut. I don't know if I could
Oh,
do
I
it up in
understand.
Maine.
Yeah. Trust me, I get you. Yeah. It's a good little 4-year experiment for me. I can't say I'll probably be living in Maine after this, but
Fair
it's been
enough.
fun. So,
um, so I have a few questions that I ask everybody, just because I feel like everybody's perspective on it or on these questions are just super interesting. They're always going to be a little different. Um, if I were to come to you and say, "Hey, Ansley, um, what's your personal definition of a good photo?" What would your
mm.
answer be?
Oh, um, I think that's something that beyond the technical stuff captures the emotion and just kind of like the whole moment in a deeper way. That's something that I really love about sports photography. As an athlete myself, I know that sports has such greater meaning than just the game. And being able to get those moments and have those for the players and their parents is something that's super important to me. So, really, anything that shows people's faces and just the emotion and the moment as well is something that I think is really awesome. I think those are the pictures that always stand out the most to me from other photographers as well.
Yes, yes. And I know you mentioned, um, particularly with baseball, you said that yes, some people think it's a little slower, but also it kind of gives you the freedom. It's a little more open to explore your creativity.
Mhm.
Um, when you're shooting the same team, let's use hockey or baseball or whatever the case is, you're shooting the
Yeah.
same team, the same players every game. Um, do you feel a sense of let me try something new, because there's only so many ways you can capture, you know, somebody taking a shot on the ice or
Mhm.
pitching. Um, are those the moments where you're like, "Hey, let me try something new. Let me change my shutter speed. Let me try something from a different angle." Is that what you mean when you say start exploring some of your creativity?
Yes, absolutely. Baseball, especially because they play double headers every weekend. So I'm there for pretty much the entire day. So it gets a little bit monotonous, if you're in the same seat the
Sure.
entire day trying to do the same thing. And also, just since I'm around them so often, I definitely am very comfortable. And they know me, I know them. They're comfortable with me being there too, which is also extremely important, I think, because
Huge. Yeah.
now I'm able to just get these candid shots of them that they might not have felt comfortable with me freshman year being there and getting those pictures of them. But definitely moving around the field. Um, I'll always start in the dugout, then go behind first base, and then go to home plate and go back to the dugout and just move all around. Some of my favorite shots from last year were actually just stuff in the dugout with my 24 to 70 and getting more candid shots, or when they score a home run, they all make a tunnel and then the guy runs into the dugout,
That's
and
awesome. Yeah.
just stuff like that, which I think is really fun and also comes with knowing the team that you're photographing and what they're going to do and kind of the different personalities. Like, I know that this guy is going to strike him out and then immediately turn and do this big celebration, whereas some of the other pitchers are
Yes.
more toned down and aren't going to do that. So I think that's also been great and also allowed me to know, like, I don't feel as stressed at the games because I kind of know what's going to happen, where I need to be for who's up at bat or who's on the mound or anything. So that definitely
Yes,
has opened me
absolutely.
up to try some different stuff, which has been great.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Um, my buddy and I, when we started Designated Report, we actually got the chance to cover our high school alma mater,
Mhm.
and we did football, covered football, girls and boys basketball, and their baseball team. And that was one of the things that we really noticed is in learning the players and getting to know their personalities, we knew when a big play was going to happen, who was going to give us something. And
Yep.
it got to the point where they would kind of seek us out at times and, give us something a little more than what they would normally. And it just made
Yeah.
for like really great photos, really great moments. So I absolutely see and hear exactly where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's the best.
As an athlete yourself, I know, well, I
Mhm.
don't know. Did you play any other sports other than volleyball growing up?
I mean, growing up, I played a lot of different things. Soccer, I was really into tennis for a while. I tried basketball. I was terrible at it. Um, yeah, I mean, I think I've tried pretty much everything. I tried lacrosse, but getting into high school, well, middle school, really, I kind of really discovered volleyball and I started playing club. So I kind of decided that if I wanted to be really serious with volleyball, that I didn't really have the time for everything else because club is
Sure.
definitely a big commitment. It's all year. So I was playing volleyball 10 months out of the year. So
Oh wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So as an athlete, I know primarily volleyball, but you've done other sports, played other sports. Um, does that impact the way that you approach your shooting when you're shooting a game? Just kind of
Yeah.
understanding from an athlete's point of view, anticipating certain things, or how has your experience as an athlete impacted or helped
Yeah.
your photography?
Yeah. I'm not sure that being an athlete has helped it so much as just like being open to asking people questions. Because
Okay.
there's a lot of sports that I've gotten up here and I don't understand. Like field hockey, for example, I had never witnessed a field hockey game in my life until I got here. And I'm getting up here
Yeah.
and I'm like, what is going on? So just kind of like talking to people and not being afraid to sound dumb or like not know what I'm talking about, but just kind of understanding the game more. And I do think from an athlete's perspective, though, it does help to kind of, I feel like I have a good feel of what the athletes themselves are going to want to see out of the pictures, and like
That's fair. Yeah.
how they might want to be portrayed or what moments are going to be important to them, especially with the other women's sports. I think that's been really awesome for me to get pictures of them looking so strong, because we have some of the greatest female athletes here. I mean, our basketball team is ranked second and going into NESCACs this weekend. So I'm really
Oh
excited
wow.
to get pictures of them. Our lacrosse team makes a run in NCAAs all the time. They're fantastic. I don't get to shoot volleyball, but I have some phenomenal girls on my team, just great athletes and people. And just getting to know all of them and getting to get pictures of them doing their thing and just like being the incredible athletes they are has been really cool.
Yes. Yes. That's awesome. Um, that's awesome. I love that just because um I agree. I agree. Your last point just with regards to understanding what you as an athlete would want to see.
Mhm.
I do think that goes a long way, and to kind of refer back to your point before, getting to know these players, not only do you know them, a little more intimately than the average person, but you also know like how they would want to be portrayed. And
Mhm.
being able to capture those moments is something they can hold on and cherish to forever. So I think that's really cool and a really, really cool perspective that I don't think I ever thought of before.
Yeah.
Um, so when it comes to photography, I know you said that you love what you do. I think we all love what we
Mhm.
do.
Yeah.
Um, is there a is there a particular part of the photography process that you love? And what I mean by that, it could be like actually being there, being at the games, being at a big game, a championship game. It could be players, coaches using your photos for like their profile pictures, or is
Yeah.
like what do you love most about what you do as a photographer?
Yeah. I'm glad you said the profile picture thing. I think that's so fun, especially when I'm on my own personal account and I'm seeing like these people that I know and I'm like, "Oh, that's my picture." But
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing for me and what I love is just being at the games themselves. I've gotten to go to a lot of really cool things that I wouldn't have without photography. Last year I got to go to the Orange Bowl, which
Mhm.
was just the coolest experience ever in Hard Rock Stadium, which I'd never been to, and just being able to be on the field. And it was like completely full. The bands were there. I mean, I don't go to a big school. My school is very small. Football isn't even our biggest sport here. So
Yeah.
to be in that like college football atmosphere and being right in the middle of it, and like the bands are right there, it was so loud, it was so cool just to see that energy and like how into it the fans got, and just being like a part of all that was really awesome. But I really love being at the games. I think that's definitely the coolest part. And especially here, it's fun because I'll be down and my friends will all be taking pictures of me working and sending me and
Yes.
posting on their stories like, "Oh, she's at work." And it's just like, oh, it's so funny to me. But just being able to be there and like be a part of it all, and get that different perspective than being in the stands is super cool.
Yes. Yes. On the flip side, is there something that you dislike about the photography process?
Yeah, maybe just like sometimes, it's late at night, it's like 11 o'clock, I'd rather be asleep, but I really feel like I gotta finish editing these pictures. I'm not,
Yeah.
I go to bed kind of early, but so I know 11 o'clock isn't that crazy. But yeah, no, sometimes it definitely feels a little bit tiring to go through the editing process, but most of the time I really don't mind it. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. And as you said that, I was thinking I would love to get your perspective, because I hate editing as well. I have photos that
Yeah.
I still need to edit currently.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
what's your editing process? And I'll tell you mine, and I just feel like it's not.
Mhm,
I don't know if it's efficient enough. So I shoot for the Connecticut Sun WNBA team. I'm their
mhm.
game day team
Oh, that's
photographer.
awesome.
Thank you, thank you. And one of last year was my first time shooting for the team, and
Mhm.
the photo delivery process was just much different than when I was shooting on my own, right? So, you know, go to a game, shoot them walking in, shoot warm ups, the game. Sometimes afterwards, they'll have groups or whatever. But after the game, I'll have anywhere from 25 to 3,000 photos that I've got to sift through. And the way that I do it is I'll go through all the photos, I'll pick the photos that I like, and then I'll go back and edit, however many photos it ends up being, and then upload them. Is that kind of the way that you do it? Do you do it differently? Because similar to you, to get out of a game at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then spend a couple hours editing is really the last thing that I want to be doing.
Yeah.
So any suggestions, any tips, anything like that, or are you doing it a similar way?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's fairly similar. It kinda depends on what I'm shooting. If it's just, like, a casual game, I'm going there for myself and, not really worried about a deadline. I'll just upload, do a first pass, delete all the ones that I know are terrible, and then I'll go through, edit the rest. If I find any other I don't like, I'll delete those as well. But if it's a game that I need to be quicker with it, I'll go through really quick. I found that if there's time in between the games, halftime, whatever, just going through and selecting a couple or as many as I see that I really like and editing those really quick and getting those up makes the post game a lot less stressful because I've already delivered
Yes.
something that they can use for a graphic after the game or any other sort of communication that they need. So definitely going through just like I use Lightroom, making a smart collection for that and then editing those. And then afterwards, if I need to do something quick again, I'll go through that same process, just like really quickly tapping through and editing and clicking them. It's funny because I'll do this at hockey and the girls that I work with are sitting there looking over my shoulder like, how are you seeing it that quick? But um that's definitely one of the perks of doing it for so long. I'm pretty quick with it now. But yeah, and then I'll have those already edited and uploaded. So then after that, I'll go through the same process as before and just actually go through and delete pictures. And then I might end up with like I usually have like 130 per gallery that I'll give out, and
Yeah.
I've probably already uploaded about 20 to 30 of those. So I find it's not as bad.
Noted. 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 Thank you.
Yeah.
Um, so if I were to come to you and say, "Hey, I am going around to some of my favorite photographers, some of my friends, and I'm putting together a gallery. Ansley, I want you to give me your favorite photo for me to blow up and put in this gallery." Is there a photo that comes to mind where you're like, you know what, that's the one that I would want people to see?
Yeah. Oh, well, immediately two come to mind. One of them is from that Orange Bowl game, and it's not an action shot, it's from warm-ups, but it's the guy. It's actually like the first thing on my portfolio if you ever look on there. But he's got his helmet on and it kind of looks like he's pointing at the camera, but he's looking to his teammate behind me. But it's just very close up of the helmet and like the UGA logo, everything. I just thought that was cool
Yep.
because I feel like I spend so much time just with the game itself and action. So just to get different shots like that, I really love. And then second one that comes to mind is from last year's Colby baseball season. They won their first round of the conference, and that was also their coach's. Oh my goodness, I think it was his thousandth win. It was either his hundredth or his thousandth, but I think it was his thousandth. Um, it was definitely his thousandth, and um, after each game, they have this gold chain that they give out to like the player of the game, and the players do it. And they're in this big huddle, and they gave it to their coach. And it's like
That's
this
awesome.
picture of one of the players hugging his coach, and everyone's just so excited around him, and just the emotion. I might be a little bit biased just because, I really care about them and love that coach.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Love the team. But just like capturing that emotion in that moment was really cool to me. And I love that picture.
Yeah. And no need to caveat it being biased or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because when I say, and I kind of meant to mention this before, when I say best photo or your favorite photo, that doesn't necessarily mean the like your best photo or like
Hmm.
technically best or anything like that. Um, if there's a story behind it, like, this photo of the coach with the chain and the players, like, to me, that carries much more weight and is a much better story than
Hmm.
just like a really nice peak action photo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so I feel like the sports photography community especially is, there's so many people, so many like really talented creative people, but also it's like kind of small and niche at the same time.
Hmm.
Do you have any photographers or anything like that that you look to that inspire you, or that maybe even you reach out to them, hey, like, what did you think about this photo, or what can I do better, or anything like that? Do you have
Yeah.
anybody you can lean on?
Um, yeah, I mean, my mom for one, Stacy White,
Absolutely, yeah.
she is like my first person. I'm always sending everything to her, even if it's just like mid-game, I get a shot I'm really excited about. I'll send her it off the back of my camera. But she's also very good just for a second eye to I'm like, I think I finished editing. She's like, I will tweak this one thing. So that's super helpful. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very bad with names. So there are a lot of people that I follow on Instagram that I think their work is phenomenal, but I could not give you a single name right now, which I'm
That's
so
fair.
sorry about. But also two photographers at my college, Jamie Feodoric and Peter Lee, are both phenomenal photographers. Jamie's a year older than me, and Peter's my year. So it's been really awesome to just have this little like family of photographers within the
Yes.
athletics communication, and to photograph games with them or just like make sure that we get all covered, and being able to support each other through everything is has been really awesome. And they're both just incredible photographers too. So being able to have people right here in such a small community has been really awesome to talk photography and different images and just like what we're excited to photograph or what we're trying new has been really awesome.
Yes. And I feel so dumb right now because it was your mom who recommended that I reach out to
Yeah.
you about the pod. And until you said that, I didn't realize that it was your mom that was like, yeah, reach out to. Jeez. Thanks, mom. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, mom.
um, so now we're gonna kind of get into I don't know. I don't know what to call it, but the lessons. I feel like
Yeah.
truly and genuinely, I feel like um in a lot of ways photography can be and is a microcosm for life. Um I spoke with um I spoke with another photographer a couple years ago, and I asked him this question of like, have you learned anything from your photography, like life lessons
Mhm.
from photography? And his response to me at the time was always take the shot. And he's like, kind of doesn't matter the situation, like if you're there, you have your camera, always take the shot. And it stuck with me ever since. So I propose the same question to you. In your time shooting, have you learned anything from your photography? And this can be photography specific, like technically, in terms of handling and using a camera, or something that you took from photography that you apply to your everyday life.
Yeah. I think just being confident in who you are and your capabilities. And I think that goes for just putting yourself in situations that you're going to be successful in, or maybe it doesn't work out the way you want, but that's okay too, because you learned something from it. And I'm thinking about like when I showed up here, I was unsure of myself. and unsure of my photography. And, I'm coming in, I don't want to step on any toes or be in the wrong spot. But I found that most of the time, if I walk in and I'm confident and I'm holding my camera, I can pretty much go wherever. And that's kind of gotten me some of my favorite shots. So just like being confident, not being afraid to take risks. Worst people can say is no, like maybe you are in the wrong spot, but I had the mascot of Alabama like tell me to move out of the way one time when I was at the ReliaQuest Bowl this year. So like the worst people are going to do is just like tell you to scoot over a little bit or tell you like no, but it's definitely worth a shot. And then oh my goodness, I had another one that was just in my head. Um wow, I forgot it. But
No worries.
yeah, just being confident and just trying new things. Oh, and not being afraid to ask questions or reach out to people. You talked about
Yes.
how small the community is. I think it's really awesome just like even I when I'm at the football bowl games, for example, when I'm thinking about it, just like talking, making small conversation, obviously not during like a big play, but just like sparking up conversations with the people around you and just kind of like hearing a little bit of their story has been super cool to me. I've made some cool connections that way and gotten to know a lot of really cool people. And just seeing what they're shooting with, because there's so many people that have been in this field for so much longer than me, and I just know
Yes.
that I have so much to learn, and that a lot of it just comes from other people around you. So yeah, and DMing people, everything. I think that it's really awesome. And I personally love when people reach out to me online. So I get really excited about that. And I just love that this community is, for the most part, like really open to sharing and helping each other. I think that's really cool.
I agree. I agree. And kind of piggybacking off of what you just said in terms of getting DMs and reaching out to people and just like soaking up as much information as you can from all of these incredible photographers who have been doing it for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, if you're steadily ascending into where you ultimately want to be as far as a photographer, but there's absolutely somebody out there, a little boy, little girl, who wants to be where you are in terms of um where you are photography
Mhm.
wise. um for somebody that wants to follow in your footsteps, what's one piece of advice you would give them that you wish you had for yourself?
Yeah, just shoot everything. For me, it really doesn't matter like if you're getting paid for it, if you're not. For a long time, you probably won't get paid for it, and that's okay because you're like just getting there and learning. And once you go to enough games and really like perfect your craft and kind of get your own personality through the pictures and what you like to shoot and your style and everything, then the money starts coming, which I'm still in the process. I don't get paid for a lot of the stuff I do. I go to it and I do a lot for free and I still love it. I think it's awesome. But really just shoot everything, take every opportunity you can. Like go to your high school games and bring your camera. And even if you don't want to shoot for the whole game, just shoot for a half, it doesn't have to be the whole game. But
Yes.
and not being afraid to shoot outside the action too. I think that that was something a lot that took me a lot of time to realize. But I've found some of my favorite shots are not the actual like big moment itself. It's something that's going on the bench or in the crowd or another player on the court or on the field or anything. I think that those are moments that sometimes get overlooked that make a really interesting image.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree. Um, so you're doing photography, obviously, but you are also in school for psychology, major in psychology. You have a minor in English. Um, Ultimately, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a photographer? Do you want to do both or all three? Um, 5 years from now, where do you see yourself, or ideally, what do you want to be doing?
Yeah, that's the question. I'd love to do photography, but I'd also I'm really open to I think marketing communications is super cool. I just recently went back to my high school and did an internship with that, and that was really fun. And
Nice.
then I've really, really enjoyed doing social media and getting to learn a bit about graphic design. So that's also something
So,
that I'd be interested in as well. And with the English minor, I've just rediscovered my love for writing. So even like journalism, which I don't think will be my path, but it's definitely something I'd keep my mind open to. But yeah,
sure.
photography would definitely be the top, but there are there's some other side things that I would definitely
Yeah.
pursue as well if given the opportunity.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, I know I kind of put you on the spot, and as a junior in college, I absolutely did not know what I wanted to do. Even
Yeah.
now, like I know I want to do photography. I don't do it full time,
Mhm.
but I have my undergraduate degrees are in. I have uh, a major in music and a major in
Mhm.
English, and then I have a master's in special education. I'm not using any of those because
Yeah.
my full-time job my full-time job, I'm a project manager for a steel construction company, and then I do
Oh,
photography on the
wow.
side. So like just
Yeah.
like all over the place. But for right now it's working. It's doing what it needs to do. But
Yeah.
ultimately I do want to like really focus and nail down the photography. So
Mhm.
I put you on the spot. You have plenty of time. You're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. No, I'm on it. I'm kind of happy honestly that I don't have a set idea of what I'm gonna do because I just feel like that leaves so much more open to me and I'm just excited to get out and see what the opportunities are because I mean, it's still another wow, year until I graduate. It's going by quick, but
Yes,
so just seeing what's out there, I'm really excited and I'm really open to lots of different things, which I think is really exciting. But yeah.
yes. Um, if you could photograph any person, dead or alive, who would it be?
Ooh. Ooh. Uh, I really I really look up to Caitlin Clark. I think that she would be really cool to photograph just all that she's done for women's sports in the past couple of years and the
Yeah,
WNBA. And I think that she's really cool. She's such a fierce competitor and I think that would be really awesome to have the opportunity to get pictures of her and just kind of share, I guess, my images of that. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. So my one story that I'll tell forever. Her first WNBA game was in Connecticut, so I got to shoot her first game, and it was just like an electric factory. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it was awesome. I know she gets a lot of flack. I think she's incredible. I think what she's doing is
Mhm.
incredible. So um, hopefully, hopefully we can make that happen for you sooner than later. Sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean that would be awesome.
Yeah. um, so I've got one last question for you.
Mhm.
Maybe two, but what's a well, when I reached out to you, I told you what the premise of Behind the Lens is, which is basically to talk to people like yourself, um, and just find out about them, like them as people, how they got to where they are. Because while we are all generally doing the same thing, the way we go about it, our thought processes, and just the path that we've taken to get there, all a little bit different. I also feel as though people don't understand just how much time, effort, money, etc., goes into what they view on their phone, on social media or on
Yeah.
TV or whatever the case is. Um, so, what's a misconception about sports photography that you think people do not realize?
Ugh. I think people just think it's so easy, like you just point and shoot. Um,
Yeah,
and I mean, I have a lot of people that come up to me in the game and they're like, "Oh my God, like you're taking pictures, whatever. Like, can I try?" And most of the time, if it's not like a crazy moment, I'll be like, yeah, sure. Because giving them the camera and letting them shoot for like a minute and having them look at it and see what they get is always really
Yes.
entertaining to me because they're like, oh my God, like this is way harder than I thought it was. So,
Yes.
yeah, I definitely think just like how difficult it is and like you actually do kind of got to take time to figure out how to frame a picture and like figure out your camera and all that stuff. And also just like probably the amount of time that it takes to actually go through and edit a gallery of pictures.
Yes.
I've definitely snapped at some teams before when they've gotten on me about getting pictures back to them quick. I'm like, do you understand? I just took like 3,000 pictures. And they're like, what? I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, like it's a lot. It's a lot and it takes a while. But, you know, yeah. And also just credit your photographers, please. I think that's a
Thank
big
you.
thing too.
Yes.
Yeah. That it's funny now that I've like built these connections with the teams, like the captains will get on like the underclassmen about doing it, which I think is I'm very thankful for because then I don't have to
Yes.
do it. But yeah, I'm always on people whenever I send pictures out to my team. I'm like, make sure you tag this person if you're gonna post because it's a small thing, but it definitely means a lot to the photographer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm gonna leave you with one last question. Um, who's more competitive, volleyball Ansley or photography Ansley?
Oh, that's a hard question. I think it's competitive in different ways, if
Okay,
that
that's
makes
fair.
any sense. Like volleyball me is probably a little bit more I'm not as nice, I'll get after people for volleyball and stuff, but well actually I do for photography as well. There was a point where someone stepped in front of me at the Relaquest Bowl when people were running out and I had to say something. But I think just like it's a competitiveness for the people I'm shooting more than for myself most of the time. Especially with Colby because I'm so like I am so invested in what game I'm
Sure.
at and like the people on the court or on the ice or the field whatever. So yeah, if that makes any sense. I just kind of blurted a whole lot of nothing out there.
Yeah.
But
No, it does make sense. It definitely does make
yeah.
sense. Um, I think that's all I got for you. Oh, actually, one last thing. So
Mhm.
the mysterious Stacy White who recommended that you come on again. Thank you, Mom.
Yes.
Um, she's the one who had me reach out to you, and I am genuinely appreciative that you took the time out on a Tuesday to sit here and talk to me. Before you get out of here, is there? Oh no, you said that you don't remember anybody's names. I wanted to know if you had anybody that you could recommend me to reach out to have them come on as well.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say my friend Jamie, she's a senior, so she's starting to figure out her job and like her next step and everything, but she's done some super cool stuff. Last summer she was the photographer for the Portland Sea Dogs and she's
Okay.
actually an art major. So she's been doing a lot of other like portraits and stuff and like seeing her work just outside of sports photography is super cool. Seeing her work with like the old cameras and getting all these like incredible shots and she's such a fun person and it's been so great to work alongside her and learn from her and just go and have this person here by my side and everything. So she's awesome. I would definitely recommend her. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. I will reach out and hopefully we can set something up. Um,
Yeah.
Ansley, thank you so much. You are a pleasure. I'm excited to watch your journey, wherever it's going to lead you. And I mean, I at least for another year and a half, I've got you at Kobe College, so I'll be
Yep.
able to tune in there. Um, but yes, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, no problem at all. Um, I'll have your social media and your portfolio, website, everything. Is there anything that you want to plug? Do you have any projects going on or anything like that before we get out of here?
Um, Not that I can think of. I mean, hockey's finishing up their season, but baseball is just starting to get into the swing of things. So if you want to see my social media side, I do a lot of graphics on there and silly videos with the guys. So it's just a different side of my work. So maybe that it's
Fantastic.
Mules baseball. Yeah.
Perfect. 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 We will be locked in. Again, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm sure we'll be in touch. And
Yeah.
yeah, best of luck for the rest of the season. And we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.